Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to Skyblock News. I'm your host, Derailious, and with 0.24.3 released, we have a lot of updates to go over today. Before we begin, make sure to like and subscribe. Use code RAIL on the Hypixel store for 5% off your order, and without any further ado, let's get started. Alongside this release, we did get 25 new Abophone contacts, and you can see what you need for those contacts on screen right now. Many of them are actually not too bad this time around, except for maybe the Bayou Water Orb, as well as the Epic Tarantula Pet, which I didn't think would be a big problem, but right now on the auction house, they are currently sitting at around 10 million coins. And also, if you run out of room for your Abophone, which you probably will, you will be able to get another 10 Abophone trios. So as you can see, I have plus 75 now from the Abophone trios. Definitely very interesting that they're still expanding the Abophone system, and it's very nice to have some new contacts in here, especially people like Agatha. Definitely a good one there for sure. Junker Joel's in here, Clerk Seraphine's here, Taylor, Terry, Tony, Tyzo, Vulcan, Shaggy, Rosemary, etc. Just a lot of new additions. Next up, we need to talk about Littlefoot. Now, Littlefoot is a new little guy that can spawn in the Glaciite mineshafts. You can either find him in his own den, which is a dedicated mineshaft for him, or he has a 1% chance of appearing as another mob in a Glaciite mineshaft. And this works with tracking, so if you have a lot of tracking, he'll appear a little bit more often. Now, Littlefoot has a lot of HP, and if you take him down, there are a couple things you can get. First of all, if you end up hunting Littlefoot, you can get the Freezing Spread Shard. This gives you Gemstone Spread for every 30 all the way down to 20 cold resistance you have while in the Glaciite Mineshafts, which is a pretty nice upgrade. He can also drop the Littlefoot's Fluff. This is a new item that allows you to upgrade the Baby Yeti pet all the way to Mythic. If you actually get this maxed, you get 10 tracking while on Jerry's Workshop, and also the Baby Yeti in general has been revamped. Now it is a significantly more fishing focused pet, as you can see. They've also made a few changes to the reindeer pet as well. Now the reindeer pet is also a bit of a fishing pet for the Jerry's Workshop, but now it seems more focused on the gift attack event. It has been buffed fairly significantly there, as well as focusing on treasure chance. If you head over to the Jerry's Workshop, you can now see it is fully updated over to 1.21 with the new modern blocks and has gotten a bit of a facelift with some new features. One of the nicest is that now you can find Frozen Alex really easily, but some of the other features include now there are hotspots on the Jerry Island, which is very nice, and if you see that guy fishing, he actually will have Winter Sea Creature exclusivity. So now you will only catch winter sea creatures while on Jerry's Island. And you can get hotspot sea creatures as well, apparently. I'm not certain if that's a bug, but I've heard that people have been fishing up wiki tikis. There's also a few other changes here. Notably, they added the ability for double hook chance to activate on rain drakes. They've changed some bestiaries around, so if you look up the bestiary system, go into fishing, and then go into winter, they have changed quite a few of these to make these just a little bit better. They've also changed some winter sea creature weights and rarities. Notably, the Yeti has been changed now to drop as a common pet, and also they've changed around the weights a little bit. So Frozen Steve is 5,000 weight, the Frosty is 2875, the Grinch is 1,500, the Nutcracker is 500, and the Yeti is 100. One of the coolest new additions, though, has got to be the Blizzard in a Bottle. As you can see, you can use it to start a blizzard while in the Jerry's Workshop or in the Glaciite Tunnels, and it lasts for 10 minutes, and it gives you some nice fishing buffs. Fishing speed, sea creature chance, treasure chance, tracking, and double hook chance. And one of the coolest things about this is that it will be repeatably craftable and players will be able to get their hands on it relatively easily, and it creates a really nice weather effect while you're on these islands. Costs 4 walnuts, a bunch of hunks of ice, and a true ice in the middle, which is the new name for the true ice hilt. In terms of some other Jerry changes here, they have added a new recipe for the hunk of blue ice, which is 160 hunks of ice, as you can see here. Notably, they've also added the walnut to the bazaar. As you can see, you can pick it up now. Very, very nice to see. They've also made a few other changes. They've adjusted the Baby Yeti and reindeer pets as we went over. They've adjusted the ice bait and the winter bait. If I look up these baits, you can see ice bait is now 25 fishing speed and 4 sea creature chance, but it can only be used on Jerry's Workshop. And then if you look up frozen bait, it's 50 fishing speed and 8 sea creature chance, and can also only be used on Jerry's Workshop. They've also made a change to the Carnival Shop's Icy Hook perk to now grant you 2.5 or up to 2.5% sea creature chance while on Jerry's Island. A change I think a lot of people will be really happy about: the Reforge anvil is dead. It's gone, you don't need it anymore, you don't need to pick it up, you're not able to pick it up, it's completely gone from the game. You're able to just use one anvil for everything. If you're wondering what this even means, previously you would have to use 2 different anvils for a lot of different things. If you were applying reforges or recoms or a whole bunch of different stuff, you would have to split your time between these 2 anvils, and it was a pain. That is now gone. They have completely gotten rid of that system. Thank the Lord. It is now a legacy item, and it can be sold in shops for 2 million coins. There are a few quality of life improvements I wanted to go over today. Notably, if you take a look at your Slayer sack, you can see there's quite a few more items in here, notably including the Toxic and Twilight Arrow Poison. There's Revenant Viscera, there's Molten Powder, there's Golden Teeth, Null Ovoids, as well as Tarantula Silk. Very nice to see these changes. There's also some other changes related to the mining sack. Now you can see sunflower oil in here as well as packed ice, and also in the garden sack you can find sunflower oil as well. Very, very nice to see. Next up, we have a pretty interesting change over to the Ankylosaurus pet. If you take a look, now at max, it'll give you 50% of your defense as strength with a maximum of 500. Now, inside of dungeons, this is not usable. It's not going to be a good pet. However, outside of dungeons, there is definitely going to be some use cases where you'll be able to use the Ankylosaurus if you want to prioritize your defense. If you're getting over that 1,000 defense limit and you're using the Ankylosaurus, it will probably be outcompeting Lion in my experience. So right now, I'm going to get up to max amount of Crimson stacks. So as you can see, I'm now at max Crimson stacks, and in terms of damage, I'm doing about 1.92 there, 1.899 million damage. Now, if I swap over to my Lion pet, which is level 100, I have a combat XP boost on it, so it's not in terms of the pet item being boosted. I deal about 1.7 to 1.85 million damage here. So as you can see, for my setup specifically, Ankylosaurus is doing just a little bit better, and it's not even fully maxed out. I'm not getting the maximum benefit. I'm getting very close to the maximum benefit with the amount of defense that I have, but I shouldn't be hitting that exact number, as you can see. And this is with my normal setup. Obviously, both of these pets are going to be completely outcompeted by the Golden Dragon, of course. That makes total sense. It would be very strange if it wasn't. But I do think if you're using the Ankylosaurus pet for Slayers where you maybe need a lot of defense, for combat content where you're needing to focus more on a defensive build to get more EHP, there is a lot of use there. Lion is still going to be better for pure offensive builds, or if you don't have a lot of defense, of course. But if you're hitting that 1,000 defense threshold with stuff maybe like Refrigerate, there is potential there for a lot of fun uses. If we head over to the garden, there are a few other changes to go over here. Heading to our desk and the Sky Mart, we can now see there is a brand new talisman line, which costs quite a bit of copper, as you can see, going from 5k up to 20k and then another 50k. This gives you up to 12% higher chance for rare and above garden visitors to arrive. Very nice to see, but it is a very expensive talisman line. So if we head over to the carpenter, there's another change here I wanted to go over. If you click on a mutation now, you'll actually be able to see the layout here, and it states, these can be placed in any order, and you can go right through and you can find all of the mutations the whole way down the tree. I love this change. It's very, very nice, and they even fixed a bug on the alpha network where it wasn't showing properly for certain types of mutations. The Snoozelings and the Noctilooms weren't displaying properly in the mutation layout. That has been resolved. Definitely going to make it a lot easier for new players without having to use the wiki to figure out, okay, if I'm going to get a stoplight petal, what do I need to do it? Taking a look at the sea creature guide, you can actually see a brand new sea creature here, Nessie, who has a couple new and interesting drops. Now, the first aspect of Nessie that's special is that if you head over to your attribute menu, you can actually hunt down Nessie and get the Lock Hook Shard. This allows you to get up to 5 double hook chance while on foraging islands, which is a very, very strong attribute. But in addition, you're also able to get a couple new items, notably the mounds of seagrass, which can be consumed up to 5 times to gain up to +5 pressure resistance. There's also the vibrant coral, which can increase the level of scuba by 1. And here is the drop table for Nessie. There has also been an update to Habanero tactics. If you take a look, you can see you now only need 28 total enchanted brown mushroom blocks, rather than the previous 2 stacks. This should bring down the price of Habanero tactics pretty significantly, and it's already down about 30 million compared to where it was prior to the alpha. Very nice change. They made a change a few months back to how brown mushroom blocks and red mushroom blocks were crafted. They made those more expensive, but they didn't update the recipe here, so this did need a change. Something else I wanted to mention, as I usually do when there are these seasonal events, you can head over to the Hypixel main lobby, walk over to the left side when you first spawn in, and go to the Easter guide, and you can pick up 2 new skins here, the Pastel Superior Dragon skin, and the Pastel Precursor Drone skin. Both of these can be purchased for 100 event silver. They'll go right to your Jerry, and you can pick them up and put them on in-game. So make sure you do this. These are basically free. As part of this release, it seems like the team is doing some sort of special promotion because they now have the Jerry die for an upcoming fire sale. Now, the colors here aren't the best in the world. I'm going to be honest. It's just shades of brown. It does have a special particle effect, apparently, which I suppose looks pretty nice, I've got to say. But that's not the part that people are excited about. If you take a look, the amount for sale is 16,767. So if you would like, feel free to use code RAIL and pick it up. And if you don't want to pick it up, well, I bet you'll be able to from the auction house. This update also includes a metric ton of smaller bug fixes and quality of life improvements, but if I were to read over all of them, we'd be here for about 45 minutes. So in terms of that, I'll just leave it linked down below. In terms of other smaller changes before we wrap up though, they reduced the amount of kills needed to max Harpy, Gaia Construct, Cretin Bull, and Stranded Nymph bestiaries from 4,000 down to 1,000, which is very nice to see. And they've also renamed the Gravel Skeleton to the Flint Skeleton, and added Flint and Enchanted Flint to their drop table. And in terms of bug fixes, they should have made a bunch of improvements to the aspect of the ends teleporting. Apparently there were some issues there, but those have since been resolved. Would love to hear what you think about this update down below. Leave all of your thoughts about Littlefoot, about Nessie, about the changes to the Baby Yeti, Reindeer Pet, and the Ankylosaurus. Leave all your thoughts down below, and look to the future, fellas. I'll see you then.